31 touchdowns. You were rated as the best quarterback in the NFL. And you went into camp with headlines going, "Joe must go." How did that feel?
What a difference a year must be.
I'm sure.
I was kind of torn because I didn't understand that everything was why everything was being based on one game. I could understand if I had a bad year, bad half of the year, but I thought I had a pretty good year. And then all of a sudden I was being judged on one playoff game, so I was confused on why everything was taking place.
Then, at least for me, or from my standpoint of view, I would feel that this is a great satisfaction to get this far. Do you have that same feeling, or?
Well, I have that feeling for us as a team, not only for myself, but I would say for a team who we all have gone through a lot of adversity, and all this situation has affected everybody. And when we go back and look at 6-5 at one point in the season, we're very gratified to be here. It's hard to play playoff games from that point on, and we did, and it talks a lot about and shows a lot about the character of our football team.
Looking back over this past season, what was the lowest point in the season for you personally?
I think after the Chicago game, when I was supposedly fatigued and I couldn't start the next week and didn't start and didn't play, and that was difficult for me to handle, not only emotionally but physically. I felt I was okay, but it's up to the coaches to make that decision.
How did you deal with it emotionally?
Well, you beat me in the position. Doubt beat me into that right track and saying, look, it may happen, but it's not permanent, and things are going to be all right. And you approach it that way and just say, I'm going to do the best I can. And that was the best thing that ever happened.
You once told me that if you got another Super Bowl, if you went and you won.
Did you tell her to ask me this?
No, this is wrong, and I want to know. If you won another Super Bowl, you would contemplate retiring. Is that still up for talking about?
I said I would retire sometime after that Super Bowl, whether it was 2 or 3 years, I didn't specify. So.
You did too, and you know it.
Oh, I did? Yeah, I said 2 or 3 years after.
So in other words, it's all worth it.
Yeah, because we'll be back again after this one, before I leave, I'm sure.
Well, if Joe doesn't win that 3rd Super Bowl, part of the reason will be his Cincinnati counterpart, Boomer Esiason.
That's right. The former Maryland All-American is having a great year this year. The other part, of course, will be the rest of that Cincinnati team, from Ickey Woods right on up to head coach Sam White. Now, even though the Bengals are 7-point underdogs, that's apparently no problem for them, because they have spent the entire season beating the odds.
The San Francisco 49ers may be the favored team going into the Super Bowl, but the team most likely to surprise everyone is the Cincinnati Bengals. At this time last year, the Tigers were in the tank, licking their wounds after a devastating 4-11 season. Cincinnati fans loved their flamboyant quarterback, Boomer Esiason. Loved to hate him, that is. And the Boomer didn't help things much by leading his teammates into the unpopular NFL strike. At one point, even lying down in front of a bus full of scab players. The fan reaction to the $6 million quarterback made him feel so misunderstood that he asked to be traded to a town where nobody would recognize him. The request was denied. Coach Sam White was hardly Cincinnati's favorite son either. As late as the start of this season, he was working under a so-called 7-day contract. Keep winning and you keep working, and he has on both counts, thanks in part to his quarterback's newfound confidence both on and off the field. And he's gotten help this season from a secret weapon called Ickey. Rookie running back Ickey Woods has gobbled up more than 1,000 yards this season, and enough media hype to make Jim McMahon and the Boz look like shy outcasts. Now Ickey, Boomer, Sammy, and the gang plan to make Sunday the perfect ending to a fairy tale comeback.
Who they think they're gonna beat them Bengals? Where they play in the jungle, afraid of nobody.
The Bengals were so concerned about Boomer's shoot-from-the-lip style that they actually added what's called a big mouth clause to his contract. It prevents him from hosting his own television show, writing a book, or a newspaper column. And it must have had other effects, because if you recall, a week ago, reporters in Miami were pushing hard to get Boomer to make a victory prediction for the Bengals, much like the one that Joe Namath made back in 1969 for the Jets, but Boomer wisely declined.
Up next, some of the fastest pros on Super Sunday are on the sidelines. But first, Mike Kalina is on the cutting edge of the fruit market.
What's the best protection against rain, ice, and snow? The remarkable Toyota All-Track. The constant four-wheel drive traction delivers a safer ride in any weather. There's lots of Toyota all-wheel drives to choose from. And with remarkable savings available on factory-to-dealer incentives and option packages, now's the best time to choose one. Because when you're all dressed up with someplace to go, Toyota All-Tracks get you there safely. Hurry into your Toyota dealer while the savings last.
For many laundry stains you thought were beyond hope, here's new hope, new era, with new, more powerful protein. Protein to help seek out the stain, to penetrate, to strip it clean, clean to the very fiber. That's the power of protein. New era, new hope for tough stains.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi celebration all wrapped up in a tortilla. But here you say, wow, wasn't enough. So we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese nachos and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
Madden promos, take two.
Hi, I'm John Madden. Well, we're loading up the bus and we're getting ready for Super Bowl XXIII in Miami. So watch my Super Bowl special.
Cut.
Why can't we just tell them that we're going to dissect this game? We're going to have X's and O's. We're going to talk to players. We're going to talk to coaches. And we're going to have some tough guys around there talking about this game. You know, because that's what the fans want to hear anyway.
John Madden's Super Bowl special, Saturday night at 9 on KDKA TV 2.
Hi, I'm Mike Kalina here at Aliota's in the Strip, where I've been polling produce purveyors all week to determine what's going to be in 1989 and what's going to be out. And I'm here to share the fruits and vegetables of my labor. Needless to say, a plum assignment. This year, iceberg lettuce is headed out, with the exception of the regional variety. This is, for example, Southside iceberg, very trendy with the uppies. The really in greens are red and green leaf lettuce. Let us see if this prediction works out. Green peppers are out this year. In are yellow and red peppers. Even more trendy are suntan peppers, which are a combination of all three. This is the Southern California variety. This year, the kiwi is out, but the carambola or star fruit is in, and it makes a wonderful garnish if you can afford it. They cost about $1 a piece. Basque and Diageo pears are out. But Comise pears, both red and green, are very much in, and they're sweet and delicious. In fact, I had so many of them, they almost had to call in the paramedics. Macintosh apples are out. Granny Smiths are in for cooking, and Golden Delicious for noshing. This year, traditional onions are out, but shallots are in. It sort of looks like a garlic clove on steroids and has the flavor of an intense onion. By the way, this is a very unusual one. This is known as the Gene shallot. The only problem is it gives you an opinion on your sauce after you've cooked it. And there's only one critic in my kitchen, and that's me. Until we eat again, bon appetit.
Thanks, Mike. Right on the field with the Bengals and 49ers this Sunday will be another pro team, the Super Shooters of NFL Films. And among the best in the business is the husband and wife combo of Tom and Julie Carlo.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then Tom Carlo has written an encyclopedia.
How about that?
Tom Carlo is a cameraman for NFL Films, the Super Bowl of sports photography. And just like the players on the field, Tom's job requires teamwork. Only he's married to his running.